Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is MuftiMenk and I welcome you to this peaceful sanctuary of reflection and hope. Here we speak to the heart, reminding you that even in your darkest moments, Allah is still writing your story with mercy. When Allah holds you back, He's preparing something better. Your tears are not forgotten. Every hardship is meant to rebuild you on firmer ground. You may have lost everything, but if you still have faith, you've lost nothing. Be patient, your story is still unfolding. And even in silence, Allah is speaking. If these words bring you calm, subscribe, like, and share, so together we can spread faith, healing, and light in a world that deeply needs it. Remember, this channel is not just content, it's comfort, a place to pause, breathe, and reconnect with Allah. When Allah holds you back, He's preparing something far better than what you were chasing. My dear brothers and sisters, this is not just a quote. It's a truth that life will teach you again and again if you listen with your heart instead of your impatience. There are moments when you will plan something so carefully, pray for it with all your might, and still watch it slip away from your hands. You'll ask yourself, why didn't it happen? I did everything right. And in that silence, Allah is teaching you what trust really means. He is not punishing you. He is protecting you from what you cannot yet see. Sometimes Allah withholds what you desire, not because you don't deserve it, but because the timing would destroy what He intends to build through you. The delay is not denial, it's divine precision. He knows the path you cannot walk yet, the hearts that are not ready yet, and the storms that are still ahead. When Allah holds you back, He is not pushing you away. He's asking you to stand still until the path ahead is safe for your soul. Many of us mistake movement for progress. We think running toward what we want will guarantee success. But sometimes standing still in patience takes more strength than running blindly in haste. You might feel trapped between your effort and Allah's silence, but remember, silence from Allah is not absence. It's preparation. When you don't see the answer, it doesn't mean the answer isn't coming. It means the foundation is being laid quietly, beautifully, perfectly. Have you ever noticed that when you plant a seed, there is a time when it disappears completely beneath the soil? You water it, but nothing seems to happen. You check the ground, still nothing. But deep within, unseen by your eyes, life is forming. The seed is breaking open. Growth is painful at first, hidden at first, but only then does it rise toward the light. That is exactly how Allah nurtures your destiny. He buries you in patience, waters you with delay, and when the time is right, He lets you bloom in ways you never imagined. The heart of faith is not believing when you see, but believing when you don't. It's saying, Ya Allah, I trust your plan even when I don't understand it. That is not weakness, that is strength, the kind that bends but doesn't break. The world might tell you that you failed, that you missed your chance, that time has passed. But who measures time except the one who created it? What you call late, Allah calls right on time. What you call loss, He calls protection. What you call rejection, He calls redirection. There are people you prayed for who never stayed. Jobs you wanted that never called back. Doors you knocked on that never opened. And you thought those were losses, but one day you'll look back and realize they were blessings. You will see how Allah replaced what you wanted with what you needed. You will understand why certain people had to walk away, because their chapter in your story was meant to end so you could grow into who you were always meant to be. When Allah holds you back, He's not depriving you. He's detoxing you from the attachments, the illusions, and the fears that keep you clinging to things that were never meant for you. Sometimes He will close every door until you have no one left to call but Him. That's not cruelty. That's mercy. Because only when you have nowhere else to turn do you realize that He was all you ever needed. It's easy to trust Allah when life feels smooth, when your du'as are answered quickly, when your heart is content. But the real test comes in the silence, when your tears fall on the prayer mat and the only answer you hear is your own heartbeat. That's where faith matures. That's where trust is built, not in ease but in waiting. Because waiting purifies intention. It separates those who worship Allah for comfort from those who worship Him out of love. So when you feel that ache of delay, when your efforts seem wasted, whisper to yourself, Allah is preparing me. Say it until your heart believes it. Because the truth is, Allah doesn't take something from you unless He plans to replace it with something better. But you won't see the better if you're still chasing what He removed. Sometimes you must let go of what's behind you to hold what He has written for you ahead. Every prophet experienced this. Yusuf A.S. was held back in a prison before he became a king. Musa A.S. wandered through deserts before leading his people to freedom. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad, PBUH, faced rejection, exile, and loss before the message of Islam reached every corner of the world. If Allah held back His most beloved servants, do you think your waiting is without wisdom? Your pause has purpose. Your stillness has meaning. Every delay teaches surrender. Every unanswered prayer shapes humility. Every detour redirects you toward what your soul truly needs. One day when you look back, you will thank Allah for every no He gave you, for every moment He made you wait, because those were the moments that built your heart into a vessel strong enough to carry the blessing when it finally arrived. The truth is, the thing you're chasing so desperately might not be ready for you, or you might not be ready for it. Allah is not saying never, He's saying not yet. He's aligning hearts, arranging circumstances, building strength within you that you don't even realize you'll need when the blessing finally comes. When it does, you'll see how every unanswered prayer was really an answered one, just not in the way you expected. So, be at peace. Trust the one who knows what you don't. If He holds you back today, it's only so you can be launched farther tomorrow. If He's closing one door, it's only because the next one leads to what your soul was made for. And when that moment comes, when His plan unfolds and the waiting finally makes sense, you will realize that nothing was delayed. It was all delivered exactly on time by the one who never forgets, never fails, and never withholds except to give you more than you ask for. Hold that faith close to your heart. Keep walking, even if slowly, with patience as your companion and trust as your light. Because when Allah holds you back, He's not stopping you. He's saving you, shaping you, and preparing you for something far better than what you were chasing. And when it finally arrives, you'll understand why the waiting was mercy disguised as silence. Your tears are not forgotten. Every silent prayer is written, and every sigh is heard. My dear brothers and sisters, how often have you cried quietly into your pillow, thinking no one could see, no one could hear, no one could possibly understand? But Allah sees. Allah hears. Allah understands in ways that no one else can. Even the tears that fall before you say a single word are counted in His mercy. Every moment you hold your pain inside, trying to remain strong, is witnessed by the one who created your strength in the first place. When life breaks you, when words fail, when your tongue falls silent because the heart is too heavy, remember, silence before Allah is not emptiness. It's communication. Your tears are not weakness. They are worship. When you sit before Him, unable to form sentences, He already knows the sentences your heart is trying to speak. He hears what you do not say. He records the dua you can't form. He accepts the prayer made of sighs and silence. There are moments when pain turns into a language only Allah understands. You try to speak it to people and they look away. You try to explain and they don't feel it. So Allah lets you speak it through tears. He translates every drop into mercy, every sob into reward, every breath of sadness into closeness to Him. That's how kind your Lord is. He turns pain into prayer without asking you to find the words. We often think dua is only what we speak aloud, the long supplications, the raised hands, the whispered requests. But Allah listens even when you don't move your lips. The tears that fall during sujud, the deep sigh when you stare at the ceiling, the pause between breaths when you're trying not to cry, all of it reaches Him before you realize it left you. Nothing escapes His knowledge, not even what you hide from yourself. There will be nights when you feel like your heart is caving in, when every thought hurts, and you wonder if you'll ever be okay again. In those moments, whisper His name. Say nothing else, just Ya Allah. You'll feel something shift. Maybe not around you, but inside you. That whisper is more powerful than 1,000 words, because Allah does not need details to deliver comfort. He only needs sincerity. The Prophet said, "Your Lord is shy and generous." He is shy to turn away the hands of His servant when He raises them to Him. Imagine that. Allah, the King of Kings, shy to reject you. Even when you come to Him broken, He honors your brokenness. Even when you come late, He still welcomes you. And even when you come without words, just tears, He still counts it as worship. Sometimes we believe our pain is a sign of distance from Allah, but in truth, pain often means He is near. The more He loves you, the more He purifies you. And purification is never painless. It's like gold being melted in fire, not to destroy it, but to reveal its shine. When Allah allows your heart to ache, He is cleaning it, preparing it, softening it, so it can hold His mercy more deeply. When you cry in secret, don't rush to wipe away your tears. Let them fall. Those tears are not shame. They are proof of connection. They are a bridge between you and the one who loves you beyond measure. When you raise your hands again and again, thinking your dua isn't being answered, know this: Allah has already answered by listening. His silence is not neglect, it's timing. His delay is not rejection, it's preparation. There's a verse in the Quran that says, "Indeed, your Lord knows what their hearts conceal and what they declare." That means your unspoken pain is already written. It's already known. You don't have to perform for Allah. You don't have to impress Him with words. You just have to be honest with Him in your silence. Because sincerity doesn't need sound, it needs presence. Every sigh you release, every breath that trembles between patience and exhaustion is a record of your faith. It's proof that even when you're hurting, you haven't given up on Him. Allah sees that. He rewards that. There's a sweetness in surrender that only those who cry for Allah experience. It's the peace that arrives after tears when you realize that the one who allowed you to cry also holds the power to heal you. So the next time you feel unseen, remember, the angels write even your tears. The heavens echo your sighs. Nothing you feel is ever lost in the air. It all travels upward, gently carried to the one who said, "I am near." And He truly is near, not metaphorically, but intimately near. Closer than your heartbeat, closer than your grief. Let your heart speak freely. Don't be ashamed of your tears. The world may see them as weakness, but Allah sees them as proof that your heart is still alive. The Prophet cried in prayer, his beard soaked with tears, his chest trembling in remembrance of his Lord. If tears fell from the eyes of the best of creation, then why should you hold yours back? Your tears are not forgotten. They are stored, counted, and transformed into light for you on the day of judgment. Every hardship you endured silently, every night you broke down without anyone noticing, Allah noticed. Allah remembered. And when you meet Him, He will show you how every sigh you released became a step toward Jannah. Until that day, keep crying if you must, but never lose hope. Because even when your voice shakes and your words fail, Allah still hears the sound of your heart saying, "I need you." And that, dear listener, is the most beautiful dua you could ever make. You may have lost everything, but if you still have faith, you've lost nothing. My beloved brothers and sisters, this line is not just comfort, it is truth, carved deep into the reality of every heart that has ever broken and still turned to Allah. Because true loss is not the loss of wealth, people, or position. Real loss is when faith leaves your heart, when hope in Allah fades, when your trust in His mercy begins to waver. As long as you still believe, as long as your heart whispers, "Ya Allah," even in exhaustion, then you are not lost. You are being rebuilt. There will be times in life when everything collapses around you. You may lose the home you built, the job you prayed for, the people you loved, even your own sense of purpose. You may wake up one day and find yourself surrounded by what feels like ruins. You'll ask, "Why did this happen to me?" And in that very question lies your proof of faith, because even when confused, you still ask Allah why, not anyone else. That question itself is a prayer. It's your soul saying, "I still believe you are in control." When Allah takes something away, He is not being cruel. He is being merciful in ways the human eye cannot see. The loss you feel today may be the space He's creating for something purer, stronger, and more eternal. Allah never subtracts without the intention to multiply. He never closes one chapter unless the next one carries your healing. But faith is what keeps you from walking away before the story is finished. It's easy to speak about faith when everything is going right, when the table is full, when the family is healthy, when the doors are open. But the truest faith is the one that holds firm when you're standing in ashes, when you're praying in the dark and hearing nothing in return. That is when faith becomes real. Because faith is not proven by what you receive, it's proven by what you continue to believe in when everything is taken away. The Prophet Ayub, A.S., lost everything, his health, his wealth, his family, yet his lips never stopped remembering Allah. When asked why he didn't complain, he said, "How can I complain when the one who tests me is the same who has always blessed me?" That is the heart of faith. That is the strength that loss cannot destroy. If you still have that, you've lost nothing that truly matters. You see, faith gives meaning to pain. Without it, suffering is just suffering. But with faith, every tear becomes a seed for reward. Every hardship becomes a step closer to Jannah. Faith tells you that nothing happens by accident, that even your heartbreak is written with purpose, and that Allah's mercy is hidden inside the moments that look like despair. My dear listener, if you have been through loss, if you've cried until your eyes swelled and your body felt empty, know that those tears did not fall in vain. Allah counted them, every one of them. The angels wrote them down as evidence of your endurance. Your patience was not invisible. The world might have forgotten your pain, but your Lord never did. And on the day of judgment, those same moments of breaking will rise as witnesses for you, saying, Ya Allah, this servant trusted you even when everything fell apart. There's a certain beauty in the soul that refuses to give up on Allah even when it's tired. That beauty cannot be bought, cannot be learned. It is gifted through hardship. The people who've lost the most often become the ones whose hearts are most alive with gratitude because they've tasted what it means to rely on Allah alone. When you've been stripped of everything and all that remains is your belief, that's when you finally see that belief is enough. Sometimes Allah takes everything so you realize what everything actually is. It's not money. It's not status. It's not approval from people. Everything is Him. He is the one constant that never leaves. When your faith remains, you still have your compass, your anchor, your direction. The waves may rise, but the heart that remembers Allah cannot drown. When you stand before Allah in sujud, empty-handed, empty-hearted, and yet you say, Alhamdulillah, that moment is worth more than all the treasures of this world. Because that Alhamdulillah came from faith, not from comfort. It came from trust, not from ease. That is the moment angels witness and write in your record as the highest form of gratitude, the praise that came from pain. Perhaps you think you've fallen behind. Perhaps you see others moving forward while you're still struggling to rebuild. But remember, Allah measures success differently. To Him, the one who keeps believing despite loss is already victorious. The one who keeps praying through tears has already won. The one who still raises their hands after being broken has already achieved what wealth, fame, or health could never give: spiritual victory. Don't let the world convince you that your value lies in what you've lost. Your worth lies in what you still hold within: your faith, your patience, your hope. This world was never meant to stay. Everything it gives will fade, but every act of faith you perform, every whispered dua, every tear you hide, builds something eternal. You are not losing. You are trading temporary things for everlasting ones. If you still believe after everything you've endured, you've already succeeded. That heart of yours that keeps turning back to Allah despite pain, that is the sign that you are beloved to Him. Allah promises in the Quran, indeed, with hardship comes ease. Not after hardship, with hardship. Meaning, while you are hurting, while you are weeping, ease is already walking beside you. You might not see it yet, but it's there. Allah does not abandon a heart that trusts Him. So if you have lost something, don't say, I have nothing left. Say, I have Allah, and that is everything, because the one who has Allah can start again from nothing, and Allah will give them more than they ever imagined. When the heart holds on to faith, it can walk through fire and come out purified. It can lose everything and still find peace. Remember, Allah does not rebuild with the same bricks. When He restores, He renews. The life that will come after this storm will not be the same as before. It will be deeper, stronger, purer. You may have lost everything, but your faith is the key to everything yet to come. So lift your head, wipe your tears, and whisper once more, Ya Allah, I trust You. That trust alone is victory. You may not see the wisdom today, but one day you'll look back and smile through the scars, saying, I thought I lost everything, but really, Allah was rebuilding me all along. Allah breaks you only to rebuild you on firmer ground. My dear brothers and sisters, how often have we stood in the middle of our lives, looking around at the pieces that once felt so solid, now scattered on the floor of our own hearts? How often have we cried, Why me, Ya Allah? And yet, if we listen deeply, that breaking was never cruelty, it was construction. When Allah breaks you, He is not ending you. He is shaping you. He is removing the weakness disguised as comfort, the illusions disguised as strength, and the attachments disguised as love. There are moments in every believer's life where everything feels stripped away. You lose people you thought would never leave. You lose plans you thought were guaranteed. You lose peace you thought was permanent. But it's in that emptiness that you start to see clearly again. Allah removes the noise so that you can finally hear Him. He empties your hands so that you can raise them to the sky. He breaks the walls around your heart so that His light can enter where pride once lived. We think we are being punished when we are broken, but in truth, we are being purified. You see, gold cannot shine until it passes through fire. Clay cannot become strong until it is pressed and baked. And hearts cannot truly hold faith until they've been tested and softened. When you are broken, Allah is not destroying you, He is refining you. He is replacing arrogance with humility, impatience with trust, and fear with surrender. That is the kind of rebuilding that lasts forever. Sometimes Allah will break your plans so He can build your purpose. He will take away what you clung to so tightly so that you can learn to hold only to Him. The things you lose are not always losses. Often they are clearings. He clears what blocks your growth. He takes away the things that keep you from rising. He closes doors not to trap you, but to keep you safe from walking into harm you cannot yet see. The same heartbreak that makes you fall to your knees is often the very thing that reconnects you to your Lord. Have you noticed how the heart feels closer to Allah when it's hurting? How your du'as become deeper when your world feels smaller? That's because pain humbles the soul. It makes us real again. When everything is easy, we forget how to whisper, Ya Allah. But when life breaks, suddenly every breath becomes a remembrance. That's the hidden gift of hardship. Allah says in the Quran, "And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger and loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give glad tidings to the patient, glad tidings to those who endure, to those who stay standing even when they're cracked. When you are broken, you're actually closest to becoming whole." Because that's when you stop pretending to be strong on your own. That's when you realize strength was never yours. It was lent to you by Allah. That's when you start saying, Ya Allah, I can't do this without you, and your heart begins to rebuild not on ego, not on people, but on faith. And faith, my dear brothers and sisters, is the only ground that never shifts. Think of a tree during a storm. The wind breaks its branches, shakes its leaves, even bends its trunk. But what happens to its roots? They grow deeper. That's what Allah does with us. When life's winds blow, He lets our outer layers break, but He strengthens what's beneath. Your roots, your faith, your patience, your tawakkul, those grow in the storm. You may look damaged, but deep down you're being anchored. Sometimes the breaking comes through people. The betrayal you didn't expect, the friendship that ended without reason, the love that left you bleeding. But Allah removes people from your life for the same reason He removes thorny branches from a plant, so that you can grow without pain. You might not see it now, but every departure carries wisdom. He will never take one soul from your story unless the next page needs their absence for your growth. When everything seems to collapse, remember, Allah cannot fill a cup that is already full. He must empty it first. He empties your hands of what is temporary so He can place within them something eternal. You may cry thinking you're losing control, but the truth is, control was never yours. It always belonged to Him. You're not falling apart. You are falling into place. And when Allah rebuilds you, He does not use the same bricks. He gives you new strength, new clarity, new heart. You become softer yet stronger, humbler yet braver. The people who have been broken and rebuilt by Allah carry a light that the untouched can never know. They walk differently, not because they are unscarred, but because their scars have turned into guidance. Every prophet was broken before being raised. Yusuf, A.S., was thrown into a well before reaching the palace. Musa, A.S., fled his home before being called to lead. Maryam, A.S., cried beneath a palm tree in labor, believing she was alone, yet it was in that breaking that Allah gave her comfort and honor. And our beloved Prophet Muhammad, he faced loss upon loss, rejection, exile, and pain, yet every trial was a step toward revelation, every tear a prelude to victory. Do you see the pattern? Allah breaks His beloved ones not to hurt them, but to rebuild them on firmer ground. So when life breaks you, don't say, "Why me?" Say, "What are you teaching me, Ya Allah?" Because every crack in your heart is an opening for His mercy to pour in. Every disappointment is an invitation to lean closer. Every failure is a whisper. Come back. Let me rebuild you. Don't rush the rebuilding. The construction of the soul takes time. Be patient with yourself. Healing is not instant. It's gradual. But every day that you wake up still believing, still praying, still trying, that is proof that the rebuilding is already underway. You are stronger than before, not because you haven't fallen, but because you've learned who to rise for. So if you feel broken today, take heart. Allah hasn't forgotten you. He is working on you. Let the tears fall, let the pain teach, but never let the faith fade. Because when the rebuilding is complete, you will look back and see that nothing was wasted. Not one heartbreak, not one delay, not one sleepless night. You'll realize that every breaking was mercy, every setback was redirection, and every piece that fell apart was rearranged by the one who never makes mistakes. You will stand again, not on the fragile ground of your own plans, but on the firm foundation of surrender. And in that surrender, you'll find peace deeper than you ever thought possible. Because Allah breaks you only to rebuild you on firmer ground. And when He rebuilds you, nothing, no storm, no loss, no fear, can ever break you again. Be patient. Your story is still unfolding under Allah's perfect plan. My dear brothers and sisters, sometimes life feels like a waiting room where nothing moves, where every door you knock on remains closed and every prayer seems to hang unanswered in the air. You try, you hope, you plan, and yet you find yourself still standing in the same place. It's in these moments that patience feels like the hardest act of worship. But know this, what feels like waiting is actually shaping. Every delay is a detail in the masterpiece Allah is writing for your life. He is not ignoring you. He is arranging everything with precision beyond your understanding. You might look at your life and think, why is it taking so long? Why am I not where I thought I would be? But what you call a pause, Allah calls preparation. There are lessons you still need to learn, people you still need to meet, and parts of yourself that need to grow before His plan can unfold fully. If He gave you what you asked for right now before you were ready, it could break you instead of bless you. Allah knows the weight of the blessings He intends for you, so He strengthens your shoulders before He places them there. Sometimes the waiting isn't about the destination, it's about the transformation. You are not the same person you were a year ago, and you won't be the same person next year. Through every delay, every disappointment, Allah is shaping you into someone capable of carrying what you once only dreamed of. He's teaching you how to rely not on outcomes, but on Him. Because when your peace depends on His timing, not your own, you'll find calm even in the middle of uncertainty. Every story Allah writes has chapters that feel like silence. The Prophet Yusuf, A.S., sat in prison for years, forgotten by men but remembered by Allah. Those years were not wasted. They were training him for leadership. Maryam, A.S., waited alone under a palm tree in pain, thinking she was abandoned, yet Allah was preparing to honor her name forever. Musa, A.S., wandered the desert before his mission began. The Prophet Muhammad waited 40 years before revelation came. Allah's timing is not slow, it's sacred. It unfolds when your heart is aligned with His wisdom. When Allah withholds something, it's never from cruelty, it's from care. He delays not to punish you, but to protect you from what would harm your soul or to perfect what's being prepared for you. You see, your story is not only about what you achieve, it's about who you become while waiting for it. Patience refines you. It polishes your faith like a stone under constant water until it shines with trust. That's why Allah loves the patient. They are the ones who hold on to hope even when they can't see the horizon. It's easy to be grateful when everything is going your way. But patience is gratitude in disguise. It's saying Alhamdulillah not only for what you have, but also for what hasn't come yet, trusting that it will come when it's meant to. The Prophet taught us that no fatigue, nor disease, nor sorrow, nor sadness, nor hurt, nor distress befalls a Muslim, even if it were the prick he receives from a thorn, but that Allah expiates some of his sins for that. So even your waiting is not wasted, it's washing you clean. Think of the ocean, how it looks still on the surface while beneath it. Tides and currents are constantly moving, shaping the land unseen. That's your life. You might not see progress, but Allah is rearranging everything beneath the surface of your patience. Every tear, every sigh, every whispered, Ya Allah moves the current of destiny closer to you. His plan doesn't skip a heartbeat. It moves perfectly in rhythm with your needs. Sometimes you'll see others racing ahead while you're still waiting for your turn. Don't let comparison poison your gratitude. Everyone's story unfolds at its own pace because everyone's lessons are different. The flower that blooms in spring is not more blessed than the one that blooms in autumn. It simply needed a different season to grow. Allah knows which season your heart belongs to. When life slows down, use that time to deepen your connection with Him. Fill your waiting with worship, your pauses with prayer, your longing with remembrance. Because the one who remembers Allah during delay will never feel abandoned. The waiting that includes dhikr becomes mercy, not misery. And one day, when the plan finally unfolds, you'll look back and realize why every delay was necessary. You'll see that if even one thing had happened sooner, it would have broken what He was building. Patience is not passive. It's an act of faith. It's choosing to stand firm when your heart wants to run. It's saying, I don't understand, but I trust you, Ya Allah. That trust turns the waiting into worship. The greatest miracles in life are written slowly, line by line, day by day, by the one who knows your story from beginning to end. And He never forgets a single prayer you've made along the way. The Prophet said, know that what missed you was never meant to reach you, and what reached you was never meant to miss you. So when something doesn't arrive, or when something leaves you, it's not lost. It's rerouted according to divine wisdom. And when you finally receive what's written for you, it will come so effortlessly that you'll understand why nothing else ever worked. Be patient, because your story is still unfolding under Allah's perfect plan. The storm you're in today will one day become the story that strengthens someone else. Your endurance today is someone else's hope tomorrow. And when Allah finally reveals the meaning behind your waiting, you'll smile through tears and say, Alhamdulillah, it was worth every second. So breathe deeply. Hold on to faith and let Allah's timing be your comfort. You are not forgotten. You are not stuck. You are simply in the middle of a divine sentence that is still being written. When the next chapter arrives, it will make sense of every pause, every tear, every prayer that seemed unanswered. For what feels like waiting is actually shaping. And Allah, the most gentle, the most wise, is writing slow miracles that only time can reveal. Even in silence, Allah is speaking, through delays, through losses, through love. My beloved brothers and sisters, sometimes life becomes so still that you begin to wonder if Allah has stopped listening. You pray and the answer doesn't come. You cry and the world remains unchanged. You look for a sign and all you find is silence. But silence is not absence. It is communication of a higher kind. It is Allah speaking in the language of events, in the rhythm of time, in the small mercies you often overlook while waiting for something louder. The truth is, guidance doesn't always arrive as words. It comes as circumstances, as lessons hidden inside the things you didn't plan for. Allah speaks through the pauses that frustrate you, through the people who enter and leave your life, through the disappointments that redirect your path. Every delay is a message. Every heartbreak is an instruction. Every loss is a conversation between your soul and your Creator that says, you were meant for something higher, but to hear it, you must quiet the noise of your expectations and listen with your heart instead of your impatience. There are moments when silence becomes the most merciful response Allah can give, because if He answered every prayer in the way you wanted, you would never grow. You would never learn the depth of patience, the sweetness of surrender, or the strength of trust. His silence forces you to search inward, to look beyond your desires, and to rediscover faith not as a transaction but as a relationship. When Allah withholds words, He invites you into presence. He asks you to sit with Him, not to speak but to understand. Think of the Prophet Yusuf, A.S., in the darkness of the well. There were no angels speaking then, no miracles visible to his eyes, no comfort except faith. Yet in that silence, Allah was speaking through destiny. The same silence that surrounded him in the well became the silence that elevated him in the palace. The same pause that felt like abandonment was actually preparation. Allah was not silent. He was scripting. And He is scripting your story too, one event at a time, one test after another, one heartbreak that will one day make sense. Sometimes the greatest lessons come wrapped in silence. You ask for a sign and instead Allah sends you stillness, because it is within stillness that the heart softens and the mind opens. Silence teaches what words cannot. It teaches humility, acceptance, and the art of trusting Allah without needing to understand Him. It teaches that faith is not proven by how quickly you get answers, but by how calmly you wait when there are none. You see, when you lose someone you love, when doors close, when dreams fade, it's easy to think that life is against you. But what if every ending is Allah's way of redirecting you? What if every silence is Him saying, "Come closer, I am not finished yet"? He doesn't always speak in thunder and revelation. Sometimes He speaks in the form of patience, in the quiet growth of your soul when nothing seems to move. Even in love, Allah speaks. Every person who enters your life carries a message. Some come to show you what mercy feels like. Others come to teach you what boundaries look like. Some stay to nurture your faith, and some leave to strengthen it. When someone departs, it's not cruelty, it's Allah closing a chapter that has served its purpose. When someone stays, it's not coincidence, it's Allah reminding you that kindness is one of His languages too. Every relationship, every encounter is a verse of your life's revelation. When you face loss, you often ask, "Why me?" But Allah's silence in those moments is not a lack of care. It's His way of saying, "Trust me even when you don't see me." Because if He explained every hardship, you would depend on understanding rather than faith. And faith is born in the unknown. When you cannot hear Him, feel Him, or see the wisdom in His decree, that's when your belief in Him speaks the loudest. The Prophet Muhammad said, "Know that victory comes with patience, relief with affliction, and ease with hardship." Notice how silence comes before speech, hardship before ease, waiting before arrival. It's in the quiet that faith matures. Allah's silence is never empty. It is full of meaning, full of unseen activity. The universe itself listens when He is silent. The stars don't stop shining because the night is quiet. The tide doesn't stop moving because the wind is still. So why should your faith stop beating when Allah pauses to rearrange your life? Sometimes He takes His time because He's aligning things in your favor, protecting you from what you don't even know exists. His delay is not neglect, it's precision. Even the Prophet experienced moments of silence from revelation, days when Jibreel did not descend, when the heavens seemed closed. The people mocked, saying, "His Lord has forsaken him." Yet Allah responded with a chapter so beautiful that it continues to comfort hearts to this day. Your Lord has not forsaken you, nor has He detested you. And the hereafter is better for you than the first. That was not just for Him. That was for you, for every time you feel abandoned, for every prayer that seems unanswered, for every silence that feels endless. Allah's silence is filled with promises waiting to bloom. When Allah is silent, He is not far. He is near, closer than your breath, closer than your doubt. He is watching how you react, how you hold your heart, how you trust Him even when He hides the map. Because silence is His way of saying, "I am still here." Walk by faith, not by sight. And if you can hold on in that silence, you will emerge with a heart that doesn't just believe in Allah's words, it believes in His ways. Look back at your life for a moment. Think of the times you thought you'd never recover. Yet here you are, stronger, wiser, softer. Do you see now that Allah was never silent? That the pain you endured was a conversation between your weakness and His mercy? That every unanswered dua led you to something better, or someone better, or to a version of yourself that could finally stand in gratitude? Even now, in this very moment, Allah is speaking to you. He is speaking through the calm that follows chaos, through the person who comforts you, through the opportunities that close so others can open. Every breath, every heartbeat, every sunrise is His whisper, "I am still guiding you." So when life grows quiet and your prayers echo back to you unanswered, do not mistake that silence for distance. Allah's silence is love in disguise. It is His way of teaching you to listen deeper, to trust harder, to see beyond what your eyes can capture. You may not hear His voice, but you can feel His mercy in every delay, His wisdom in every loss, His compassion in every bit of love you still have left. Be still, my dear listener. Breathe. The silence you fear is not emptiness, it's presence. Allah is still speaking, just not in the language you expected. Listen with your heart, and you will realize He never stopped speaking to you. My dear brothers and sisters, remember, no hardship is wasted, no delay is without purpose. Allah is always writing your story with wisdom far beyond what you see. Be patient, be gentle with yourself, and keep trusting the One who never forgets you. If this reminder touched your heart, share it, spread the care, and subscribe so we can walk this path of light together. Until next time, may Allah bless your days, ease your nights, and fill your heart with peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.